probably heard 1,000 times that confidence is key to success. And sure, that's true. But you know those moments where you wish you could just walk into a room, totally own it, and not feel like an imposter? Well, you're not alone with this feeling. And here's the thing, confidence is not just something that a few lucky people are born with and just naturally have it. It's actually a skill that you can build. With just a few tweaks in your mind shift, you can really see the difference in how your confidence grows. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, I want to welcome you here. This channel is all about helping stressed out multitaskers stay balanced and badass with some practical tips, a dose of humor, and a little tough love. I'm Tara, your personal growth coach, here to make sure that how was your day never triggers a meltdown for you. If you're into staying balanced, staying badass, and being the best that you can be without any of the meltdowns, then you're in the right place. Be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss out on any future content. All right, so here's the first shift for you, and that is to stop seeing challenges as obstacles, but rather as opportunities for growth. And I know this sounds like one of those cheesy motivational posters we see in our offices, but just hear me out a little bit. We stop seeking challenges because they're uncomfortable. And as humans, we don't like to get beyond our comfort zone. But discomfort is where growth happens, my friend. So the next time you feel that fear starting to creep in, that discomfort creeping in, instead of backing away, what I want you to do is to lean into it. Observe the situation. Think about how you're going to grow from the experience. You know that feeling when you're sitting in a meeting or in a presentation and you're either giving a speech or you're speaking up during a meeting and all you're worried about is everyone else and how like the audience might be judging you? That's fear talking to you in that moment. Instead of letting that fear take over your mental space, ask yourself, what can you learn from the experience? How is this experience going to make you better or stronger or improve your professional skills? What opportunities for growth lie in this experience right now in this moment? Shifting that mindset helps you get out of the fear and really focus on the future. The fear is so focused on the present moment and almost sometimes like your previous history with an experience that might have been similar. Whereas if you're focusing on the opportunities for growth, you're focusing on looking forward and seeing how you're going to grow from the experience. And let's say you're about to present an idea to your company and you might be worried about whether your idea is good enough or worth it to even share with the company, with the leadership of the company. Instead of worrying about it, start getting a little curious. Ask yourself, how can I make this idea better? Come at it from the perspective of the leadership of your company. What kind of questions are they going to ask and want to know from me so that way I can be best prepared? What can I learn from the preparation of this experience that I can take with me, to future proposals? Approaching these kind of situations with curiosity instead of fear allows you to open yourself up to growth, which is really where confidence happens and where confidence builds. All right, now let's talk about the second shift, and that is to ditch perfectionism and aim for progress. If you're anything like me, you've probably wasted a lot of time trying to perfect things rather than just taking action. I mean, think about it. How many things have you put off or have you just halted doing because it just wasn't perfect? Now, we all know perfection is a myth. So instead of trying to get something 100% perfect because it's never going to be 100% perfect, accept that you will learn through the process, that there is an opportunity to take small baby steps towards that thing that you are working towards. It's easier to get something small right than it is to get a large project right. So when you break it down, you're essentially working and chipping your way to get to that 100%. But also remember, 100% is really an unattainable goal. What you're focusing on is taking action. You can't achieve something without acting on it. Just because you think you want to do it Thinking about it doesn't mean doing it. And baby, those imperfect, small, tiny baby steps will totally build your confidence. They act as like a snowball effect. Once you once you get one done, then you move on to the next thing, then you move on to the next thing. And before you know it, you almost have like this avalanche of momentum going. And that is what builds your confidence. Not sitting and waiting to perfect something that's so huge that will never be perfect in the first place. Acting on it, taking that momentum, moving forward is what's going to build your confidence. So your action item on this one is that the next time you find yourself kind of holding back on something because it's not perfect and it's not to your standards or the standards of the world and the expectations that are had of you, take a step back, think about what's one small step that you can take. Break it down so small that you can't not do it. We talk about this all the time. But once you take those baby steps, then you can start to see the giant leaps that you're making in the bigger picture. And that's what's going to build your confidence. And that's how you're going to grow and become a little bit more confident every single day. The third mindset shift is to switch from saying, what if I fail, to what if I succeed? So often we are our own worst critics and we attract the energy that we put out there. And if we are putting this energy that we're afraid of failure out into the world, we're likely to bring in failure. But rather than thinking about everything that could possibly go wrong, switch that. Flip the script and think about everything that could possibly go right. I mean, think about it. What if that risk that you're so afraid to take right now ends up paying off big time in the future? Or what if the thing that you're so afraid of right now turns out to be the best decision that you've ever made for your life? This shift from failure or fear of failure to opening yourself up to the possibilities welcomes opportunities into your realm. It also opens your eyes to the opportunities. If you are already coming at your goal or the thing that you want to achieve with that failure mindset, you're putting up a block. You're putting up walls to see what opportunities may exist out there. But if you come at it with the attitude of the possibilities that are open, what if you succeed, then your eyes are open for the success. Your eyes are open for the opportunities to prove your mind right because you had already thought about what if I succeed, and to prove kind of the naysayers wrong because you will have reached that success. You won't block it from your experience. And the more success you start to experience, whether big or small, the more confident you become. So the next time that you find yourself thinking, what if I fail? I want you to switch your mindset. And I don't want you to just think, what if I succeed? I want you to grab a piece of paper, a notebook, the notes app on your phone, whatever that looks like for you, whatever mode of communication, like written communication you prefer. But I want you to write down the successful scenarios. Think about in the future, 3, 6, 12 months from now, what if you succeed? What will that look like? When you start to envision what your success will look like, you know what you're working towards. And that will give you something to focus on rather than the fear of the failure that may be sitting in your mindset. Plus, this gives you something to really look back on when you do achieve those accomplishments. Another thing too is that you can write down accomplishments and successes that you've already had. This helps to fuel your confidence because you can see that you've done it before and you'll do it again. Now let's talk about the comparison trap, because we're scrolling through media, we're seeing everybody's highlights, and we're starting to feel like we're falling behind. We're doing something wrong in this thing called life, and that can really kill your confidence. Instead of comparing yourself to others, start appreciating the unique things about you, the things that you bring to the table that make you the best version of yourself. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone gets from point A to point Z in a different way, using different skills, using different talents. So you can't compare someone else's journey to your journey because they are not you. Instead, rather than ruminating on the comparison of where you are compared to where others are. Sure, you can look at what they're doing on social media, but what I want you to do is when you start to feel that comparison creeping in, when you start to tell yourself, wow, I'm really behind on this, or I wish I would be doing that, stop in that moment and write down 3 awesome things about you. Keep a yay me folder. This is where you want to keep track of all the positive qualities that you have, the strengths and skills that you have. Because when you start to find yourself in that comparison trap, you can actually refer back to this list and really see all of the great and amazing things that make you you. That helps to build your self-confidence and allows you to kind of shield yourself from comparing to everyone else's highlight reels on Instagram or TikTok. So we've covered 4 quick mindset shifts that can help you build your confidence. If you start practicing these today, I promise that you will start to notice a difference in how you feel, but also how you portray yourself out in the world, not just professionally, but personally as well. And if you found today's video helpful, share it with someone who could use a little confidence boost. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you can keep living your best life. Until next week, stay balanced, stay badass, and make good choices.